a lot of live videos on the old YouTube. Figured I'd give her a shot here. See what we can make happen. I do have a method to my madness, or a reason for my madness, I should say. But I'm going to give it a couple minutes here and see if anybody actually logs on to this thing. We'll see what happens. I'm just getting out of the big rig up here in Virginia. And it's 4:20, how about it? Now the big rig up here in Virginia, it's been the end of a very, very long work day today. And we are bracing ourselves here in the great state of Virginia for some winter weather moving in. And apparently Sunday at some point it's supposed to be moving in. And for this area, it's supposedly going to be quite a nasty storm, what they're saying anyway. Give it a minute here, see if we can get a few people on here. I want to, if you're a fan of the Rock and Rant, the podcast we started doing. By the way, if you're a Kings of Nothing fan and you're watching, rest assured there will be some new Kings of Nothing action happening. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. The only reason we haven't had anything new in a little while is there really hadn't been a whole lot that's been happening as far as the band, and the thing is kind of centered around the band. So there's been a little of this and a little of that, and there's been a little bit of footage we've shot, but all in all there hadn't been a ton happening. So we the show has slowed down a little bit, but it'll pick back up. We got a lot of different things in the works, so if you're a fan of the Kings of Nothing deal, stay on the channel, keep checking in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do that, because you'll get notified if when a new episode drops and all that. But anyway, the reason for the little live video here is if you were a fan at all of the Rock and Rant podcast that I was doing there, kind of done that off and on. That the thing started during COVID just because I was losing my mind with boredom. I was looking for something to just tinker with, and so I started a little podcast because that's kind of what people do now. And I'm a radio guy from back in the late 90s, and it only seemed natural to try to do something like that, so we did. And it was fun here and there, but it was never anything I got very serious about. It was just something fun to tinker with here and there. Well, dang, we got some people on there. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see y'all. Yeah, I'll do this more often. I wasn't sure anybody would give a shit and log on. Anyway, yeah, so if you're if you watched any of those Rock and Rant podcasts, by the way, Rock and Rant, it's on one of the playlists on this YouTube channel. It's RAWK, Rock and Rant. Very soon it'll be getting a facelift. I answered an ad from a guy in the Raleigh area who was reaching out, he was looking for a co-host to a political podcast that he wanted to start, but the catch was he was looking for a liberal. Now, he's a right-wing conservative, and he was looking for a liberal that he could kind of get on there and throw it around with a little bit. And so anyway, I got thinking, I was like, well, I'll answer the ad anyway. I'm not a liberal, obviously, but, we'll see what happens. So I answered his ad, and I told him a little bit about myself, and I said, the only problem is I'm not a liberal. I'm about as right-wing as they come. And so anyway, we became fast friends, and long story short, the Rock and Rant podcast is going to be getting a revival of sorts, and I've got a new co-host. His name is Video Bob, is what he goes by. If you're anywhere in the Raleigh area and you've ever listened to any talk radio in Raleigh, he was on WPTF, news talk radio in Raleigh forever and ever, and so you'll recognize his voice from there. But we're going to talk some politics, we're going to talk some rock and roll, some music. Our very first guest on the very first show of this Revive deal will be none other than Tommy Red from Nantucket, and I could not think of a better first guest to have. Tommy, if you're not familiar with Nantucket, you should familiarize yourself with Nantucket. They were really big back in the 80s and 90s. They came out of the Raleigh area. They're one of those huge bands that just I mean, they toured with AC/DC and Skinner and ZZ to everybody. Tommy's got 1,000,001 great stories from being on the road. So some of these comments are interesting. I'll have to read through your comments when I get stopped here, guys. I'm trying to keep it safe. Anyway, Tommy Red from Nantucket, he wrote all those songs, all the hits they had. Tommy wrote all of them. He's got 1,000,000 stories. He's not bashful when it comes to politics either. I'm expecting there will be a lot of right-wing views, but that's okay. I mean, even if you fall more to the left, I'd still encourage you to watch it, because I'm all about a healthy debate. You know, I'm all about different opinions, and I don't condemn anyone or shut anyone down for disagreeing with me. That's for sure. So as long as the argument is a healthy one, then I think arguments and debates are healthy. I think that's the way you get shit done. So anyway, we should be shooting that within a week, and hopefully the very first one, that first one we shoot, will be dropping within the next couple of weeks. We're going to try to get 1 or 2 in the can so that we can remain consistent and try to have one up every week for you. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to it. You'll get a notification if you ring the little notification bell when a new episode drops, and it should be a lot of fun. Every program director I've had in radio is always beaten into my head, don't talk about politics on the air. The last program director I had, it was like that movie Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller, and he's like, you said bomb on an airplane. I'm like, all I said was Trump. It doesn't matter. You said bomb on an airplane. You don't do that. So I've been whipped into submission to not even say a word about politics, even if it's not a opinionated thing. If it's just a fact, you don't do it. So to be able to do this podcast and actually be able to talk about some political stuff and some opinion stuff too, that's it's going to be a pleasant change, because Lord knows there's no shortage of things to talk about, and I have no shortage of opinions about those things, so it should be a lot of fun. And Bob is a real funny guy. I think we're going to be able to bounce stuff off each other. I think we're going to have a blast doing it. And again, hopefully within the next couple, maybe sooner than that, possibly. So keep an eye open for it, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're anywhere in this area, you should stay warm and stay safe, because they're talking about some pretty serious shit coming in here. So hope you have a great weekend, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.